Okay. Hi, everyone. Sorry if I'm slightly late. We're trying to get a room. I'll get started immediately. Okay, so today we're here because we just launched our new Agents Hub feature. And really the goal of this meeting is to go through this new release and explain how we now think of the agent automation and make sure that you guys all know how to get fully ramped up with the automation in our system. So first part, I'm going to walk you through the new Agents Hub, which certainly does have a lot of additional functionality, but it also mostly reshapes how we think of AI in Conduit. And secondly, I will go through common workflows that you should get into the habit of doing to ramp up your automation using Conduit. So for those who don't know me, I'm Lodo. I am an AI engineer here at Conduit, and I am going to I'm also a property manager, so I'm going to share my my account and show you around from my account to this new Agent Hub section. Okay, so you've probably seen this morning. We now have there's no longer the knowledge base. The knowledge base is incorporated within Agent Hub, and the Agent Hub has 3 sections. We reorganized this so that it feels the way you interact with your AI in Conduit feels more like you would with a normal employee. And so we have this new section called Agents. And just like with a new employee, the first thing you would do is give them the instructions of what they have to do, right? So this is where the old style prompt comes into play. And you explain to them how you want them to act on your behalf within conversations. So you see here we have voice and tone, structural elements of messages, language patterns, response strategies, personalization approach, right? You can give them a signature, like how you want them to end messages, and then you assign them a contact type, right? So every agent in our app is assigned to a specific inbox, right? So for instance, our company has multiple inboxes. Guests, we're an Italian company, so some of these names are in Italian, but cleaning, operations guests, property managers, homeowners, and each of them has its own agent that will have its own instructions. This one, for instance, doesn't have any instructions turned on, and it shows like what these are. Secondly, with a new employee, the other thing you would go through are the things you never want them to do, right? So these are the guardrails. These are like the first day instructions you would give them, like, hey, be careful with these situations. Please call me if this happens. Never do these things. So this is just like to make sure that like your employee, or in this case your agent, does not behave in a completely unexpected behavior, in a completely unexpected way, and therefore like causing damages for your company, right? And these are the guardrails. Like for instance, payment information, never provide information about whether a service has been paid or if a booking has been modified. Say that you will check and get back to them, right? No, this was an old thing because we are changing our phone number. So the guardrails always override any other piece of information. So even if in the knowledge base you have something, if the guardrail says XYZ, that is the bottom line of what your agent will follow. A very common one is never share the exact address with guests before they have confirmed their booking. Never schedule a technician intervention. Like things you really want the AI to avoid. This would be like the first, the onboarding of your new employee, and then you would start giving them access to your knowledge, right? So you'll onboard them to your listings, the listings you have. You'd give them probably a structured view of all the information of what these listings, like the information about these listings, so parking instructions, age restrictions, pets, policies, basic amenities, these kind of things. And you probably also show them what the sources are, right? So you say, okay, we have a PMS that has a bunch of this information, and then we probably also have, maybe some CSVs, and maybe a Notion file and the like, right? We're actually also in the process of shipping. It should have been with this release also, so it's really going to be in the next 2-3 days, a new sources page where it's going to be easier for you to manage, upload, and sync sources. So that's also going to become easier within the week. But on top of your listing knowledge, you probably have a general wiki of information for your agents, right? So there's global information for all your agents, and then there's specific contact-based information for your guests, and maybe for operations, and that's other knowledge that your agents or / employees must have, right? And finally, you have specific SOPs, standard operating procedures, that your employees / agents should follow when replying to guests, right? Or replying to a specific contact. A very common one is early check-in policies. These are usually procedures where you would go in, check the calendar, check if there's another guest checking out the same day, and then based on that, either grant or not grant a specific early check-in request. Some other examples might be cancellation policies, right? It depends like how early the cancellation has been requested. Another really common one is maintenance troubleshooting. So how do you usually, or like actually the most common one is like access issues, right? So a guest says he can't access the apartment. What should I ask first? And how should I go about solving the issue? Should I just call him, or should I first maybe ask to send a picture? Then after the picture, should I just give him some basic steps to try and have him troubleshoot independently? And then if he can't fix it, then he might have to call me, right? All these kinds of procedures go here, right? For instance, I can try and show you one. Okay, this is a very basic one. If the guest informs of a delay of 1 or more days in their arrival and no date modification is made in the conversation, inform them that the apartment will be ready for the original check-in date, even if they arrive 1 or more days later. Fair enough. Very simple. Late checkout policy, late checkout request. Okay, if a guest requests late checkout until 11:30, then inform them that the cost is 15 euros. Fair enough. And then these procedures will be usually by default applied to all your listings, but you can also decide to have them applied to only certain listings, just like with only certain contact types, right? This is for guests. It could have been for global or for another one. And then this is for all our listings, right? So far, we're just like moving information around. So these are all things we've been familiar with. So this instructions is what used to be style. The signature used to be under settings. These used to be rules. Now we call them procedures. They're exactly the same thing. It's just the naming works better to make people understand what we mean by them. We still have conflicts. And then we still have a place where you can test your agents. This is essentially how we reshape the Agent Hub. We're now also shipping some additional features. We're about to ship this test page. It's going to look differently, but at least you get an idea of what it's going to be like. So you're going to be able not to just to run single tests in the sandbox, but also bulk tests. For instance, here I ran 10 times check-in process clarification, right? So I told them, I was testing whether the AI was able to always send check-in information, and I changed the query around, I tested the same query multiple times to see that the AI was always able to send the information over, right? And there were other tests that we did. Parking details, was it able to send the parking details? And then you can see sometimes it's not passing. So you would go in and you say, okay, why didn't it pass for this one? Oh, maybe it was because the knowledge is not explicit enough. What is the escalation that I'm getting? So this is also to like increase your confidence in the system and in the fact that your agent is able to answer correctly. We said also sources are coming out. Another section that is also coming out again this week is suggested knowledge. You currently have suggestions here where it's using suggested replies to answer messages, but we thought that this way it was harder for you to actually assist and teach the AI this way. So we thought of adding suggested knowledge directly in your agent hub, so that like once a week you can go in, you can see all the suggestions that the AI has had and like the things it learned from your conversations that week, and you can either accept or decline those suggestions. This way, you can have a system that dynamically learns from you without it necessarily having to to go in and see its suggestions from the inbox. It's just easier for you to manage. Okay, so this is the overview of the Agent Hub. Now I'd like to zoom back out and talk about our philosophy of automation at Conduit and the 4 levels of automation that we want to bring to all our clients. And then finally, I'm going to show how to pass from level 0 to level 3. So let me actually share again my screen.
Actually, I'll sit down alongside.
Okay, let me again share my screen. I'll share the whole window. In any case, for those who just joined, I thought it was, I don't know why it wasn't letting you join automatically. This call has been recorded, so I can send it over to everyone who participated and send over the recording. I'm really not sure why I didn't let you join automatically. You might have accepted the invite with another email, but because I was talking, I couldn't see the requests. Yeah, I saw Taylor writing, but yeah, I'm really sorry. I was on the other screen, so I couldn't see these requests, and I don't have a double screen right now. But yeah, I'll send everything over right after this. So just for those who just joined, we just went through the Agent Hub and how these new sections work. I showed them how agents, like the style is now here, the guardrails are now here in the agents page. I showed them how knowledge has listing knowledge here. Wiki has knowledge and procedures. Procedures are the old rules. And then I showed conflicts just as before and chat just as before. Maybe it's worth also touching upon settings and tags and escalations. These are things that were already here in the settings page. They have just been moved around. But they're pretty self-intuitive. These are like, if you want the AI to only answer it within certain time frames, these are the tools that you give the access to the AI. Other reply preferences, these are the usual urgent tags. And escalations is how you want the AI to escalate. I wouldn't go into this just now because it's pretty advanced. So for now, we just have the normal escalations as always. Okay, so now on to the 4 kinds of automation, 4 levels of automation. And yeah, just zooming back out, the general philosophy of what we at Conduit believe. We don't want to be simply a tool to automate the busy work, the grunt work, and let you concentrate on what is really of value. We don't believe in that kind of automation. Automation throughout history has never been just automating away the busy work. It's always been restructuring the way humans work, right? So we believe our app and the automation we want to bring should be transformative and not just a simple tool that you use to take care of part of the of your operations. It should be really within all of your operations and yeah, and to change the way you work. So we believe that automation throughout history has always elevated human beings, and thus making them do more valuable and more meaningful work. But not because they just simply automate away boring things. It's because the thing itself that used to be boring becomes more engaging just because of the power you have in controlling it. So this leads us to the 4 levels of automation we see here at Conduit. We call them level 0, level 1, level 2, and level 3. Level 0 is Copilot. These are for people, and probably a lot of you are still at level 0, for people who still haven't turned on autopilot. So where their automation rate, which is here in the insights automation rate, is at 0. For these people, the AI is already helping them, but because it's making them reply faster, it's proposing replies that you can just edit. When I have proposed replies, either I edit the proposed replies, but I could also just generate with Command J, like this, and then I could write a draft. So this is already, like, the AI is already making our lives faster. I can search for information faster. I can write faster, but it's not really changing the way we work, right? It's the same thing, just we can get through more stuff. When things really start to change is with level 1 automation. That's when you turn on the autopilot and the AI starts replying to some of your messages. That's usually below 50%. This means that, like, you start feeling the AI handling some messages, but usually these are like the most simple messages that you could, in any case, answer to in very, like, short time frames, right? So these are like basic Q&As. There are like people who are like greetings and salutations, very basic questions. But this is where, like, part of your work has started to be automated, and so you start having to teach the AI, right? So the AI is asking you questions, you answer, and it learns, right? So there's this loop of it learning from you. Just to show you this loop in action, how this looks, any answer that the AI gives, you always have this I. This is autopilot, so this was sent automatically. You can translate it, so that now you can see. Here's an early check-in request. Nice. You can see its reasoning here. You see, guest Eugenio requested early check-in. Standard check-in is at 14. Early check-in possible when the same day turnover, but we have same day turnover true. Must decline politely, explain cleaning needs, suggest external luggage storage, like use bounce, and confirm they can access from 14. No escalation needed. Perfect. This is like the thought process of the AI, and I'm like, yes, that makes sense. But maybe sometimes a message doesn't really make sense to me, so I go here, I think I see what the AI thought, and understand why it generated a specific message. I can then go into the sources and see what sources were used to generate this message. So what were the relevant pieces of information that the AI used when generating this, right? And then I could say, I don't like this, and I might add, never refer to use bounce in an answer. Maybe I don't want that to be the case anymore. And because of this language, the AI will automatically understand that this is a guardrail, and will create a guardrail for me in my knowledge base. I don't know why it's loading this long. Usually it would just, let me see if I can just move to the knowledge base. I'll just show you manually. I think maybe that we have to correct that connection. So as you can see now in guardrails, I have this. We now can delete this. And of course, this is adding a guardrail. I could also as easily teach it something. So maybe I want to say, check-in is now at 15. And so now the AI is like, it takes a while because it's actually editing a lot of documents. We won't save anything, but you see it's changing the check-in information everywhere. And if I save this, another block would come out. But yeah, it's changing my knowledge, right? Or I could create new knowledge, right? So I could say, we have, I don't know, we give out bottles of champagne, I guess. I'm just writing this because it might try to edit some existing knowledge. So I'm trying to make it explicit that I want some. Oh yeah, you see, it's because it's checking information. It still does this. Let me fresh. Let me see if I can teach it this. We want some. Okay, so this created a new block. It doesn't save automatically, so I would have to create a new block. But I wanted to show this, where I can choose whether this is global or if it's guest, and at what level this is, right? So I could make it knowledge, I could make it, we don't have groups, but or I could select certain listings, right? So this is great for creating information. I could also create a rule, right, where I say if the guest checking in for and it's a Sunday, tell them regardless cannot accommodate. Something like that. And this will create a procedure based on this, right? As you can see. So this is the common flow that will get you from teacher to builder. This will get you to essentially where my company is at right now. We used to be a bit more than 58. In the past, we're going down because of suggested knowledge and people being on vacation. But yeah, we used to be at 70 previously, almost 80. Yeah, so this will bring you to this around this level of automation. And but at a certain point of automation, this is where teaching the AI won't be enough. We all know that like the job of a property manager is way more than just replying to guests. Mostly it's, you know, orchestrating information across different users, right? So when a guest is mentioning a problem, we can't just say, oh yes, we'll fix it. You'll actually have to send someone to fix it, right? Or a guest requests an extra cleaning or booking change, right? So these are the times where the AI is asking for your help to do something, right? And you then jump in and do that thing for them, right? This is where, to do that thing, you need to give your AI agent tools. And that's why this is no longer just a chatbot, but it's an agent, because now agents are connected to your workflows. And so workflows are the ways in which you can have your AI agent do things async. That means after replying to the guest for you, and get things done. So we classify workflows into 3 categories. The first one is proactive workflows. These are things such as a gap night upsell. So, you know, 3 days before check-in, check if a gap night is available for the reservation. And we have an agent injection. What this means is that we're assigning a goal to one of our agents. And this does not mean it sends simply one message. It has a conversation with the guest with that goal, right? So if, for instance, in this case, the goal here is to have them book this gap night, right? So it's going to try and convince them. It will have some follow-ups if they don't answer. Here we don't have any follow-ups, but we could add it like, hey, have you thought about the offer we just made you? What do you think? And answer questions about this specifically. So it knows it has this goal to achieve, and it has 12 hours to reach this goal. If it does reach this goal, we see if it checked if the guest accepted, and if it does, we notify the team, right? Because right now we cannot make the purchase directly from the app. So we need to notify the team that jumps in and actually books the gap night. Of course, the goal is to then have the agents actually send out payment links and receive payments. And this is also something that we're actively building right now. Okay, so second thing is, wait, before I jump in, let me see if someone is, okay, no, I was just scared that someone was also still in the call. So I was saying, okay, this is the first category of workflows. These are proactive. You are reaching out to the guest. Another very common example is a request to review after the stay. So one day after checkout, I check the sentiments for the conversation. If it's bad, maybe we just apologize and update the custom fields, just so that we know, like, okay, this guest was not happy. And if it's good, then we send a message asking for a personalized review. That's also a very common workflow. Another common workflow is maybe a check-in call, like one day after check-in, maybe guest registration forms, guest screenings. We have cross-selling, so you can call or agent inject a guest to try and cross-sell extra services that you might want to sell them before he checks in. These are all like these kind of proactive workflows that you can build with our app. And these really are aimed to increase your revenue per reservation and increase the guest satisfaction by increasing interactions, right? So like if you reach out to the guest more, you're more likely for him to remember you and be like, hey, like the communication was really good, right? It's not just reacting to any question they might have. You're actively reaching out to them, making sure that everything's okay, not with like templated messages that are like clearly perceived negatively by the guest, but like with personalized messages, right? So, like what we do in Xenia is the AI usually reaches out to them, and like maybe I remember like this one time it organized by searching on the internet a whole like surprise for a guest that was had like a romantic date in one of our apartments, and he told the guests where to go. Sorry, I have my voice. It sent the guests to buy flowers in close by shops, and then they followed up with them and be like, hey, how did it go? How did your surprise go? And had this conversation with the guests. Of course, the guest will then leave you 5 stars, right? Because there's this relationship that it builds with you. And these are proactive workflows. Then we have notification workflows, which are meant to route information that is incoming from the guest to the correct place, right? So this could be tasks, maintenance tasks. This could be cleaning requests. These could be cross-selling requests, upselling requests. We saw that before with the Gap Night upsell, where we had a notification to the team. This is another example. Notify the team of extra cleaning, where whenever there is a cleaning issue for certain listings, we send a message as a cleaning request to Loredana, which is one of our cleaning agents. For other listings, we know that we have another cleaning agent, which is Yashira. And then for the rest of the listings, we just send them to Veronica, which is going to then sort them out with other people. So these like personalized notifications based on situations, based on time, based on listings, based on just generally conditions are very common and very useful. And finally, we have triaging workflows. And these are really the workflows that are going to bring you from being a builder to an orchestrator. Because until now we say, okay, we've taught the AI all the basic information. We've taught it how to proactively reach out to guests, and we've taught it how to sort out information for us. But the real step to level 3 is when the AI is also reaching out to your operators, getting the relevant information, and following up with the guest. So orchestrator is really when you get to 90 plus automation. You have the AI handling your inbound calls, and you have the AI triage any issue it has with your team to find the answer and follow up with the guest. So a very simple, common example of this is not this one. I wanted to show the urge. Oh, I don't have this one. Okay. This is a very simple example. So damage report, like, let's just do emergency situation, which is easier. So anytime the guest is having an emergency situation, we call the main phone line, and the AI is going to talk to the operator, this case from our company, and inform him about the situation that is happening, the emergency situation, and help them fix the issue. So maybe it's saying, oh, the guest is having this problem, and then the operator is like, okay, can you search on the internet the closest, I don't know, hospital? Oh, yes, this is the closest hospital. Okay, then send the message to the guest telling him to go there, right? Just inventing. And then the AI says, okay, I confirm that, and then ends by sending a response to the guest, right? So as you see, this closes the loop. The AI got the emergency request, sends a message out being like, hey, I'm checking with my team, calls us, gets a response, and closes the loop with the guest, right? So this is a very basic triangulation example, but it can get way more complicated. It can triage issues really indefinitely, right? It could call systems, it could call external systems. With this functionality here, like webhook, you can connect it to any system. You could actually, okay, it logged me out. You could actually connect it to make.com or any other workflow builder as well, just through a webhook. So the possibilities here are infinite. And that's really where we want to bring our clients at. And for this reason, now we have a dedicated team whose job within the company is to help our clients ramp up this automation to level 3. So I'll be leading this effort in ramping up our clients. And yes, it will be my goal to help you as much as possible, to help you learn how to build these workflows, to build them for you if you have any problems. And so the sooner you reach out to us, the more space we'll have for this program, right? We can only handle so much. So the sooner we start ramping you up, the more likely you'll have a lot of time with us and being able to consult with us and find the best ways to shape your company. But this leads us to level 3, where really the job of property manager is, I think, completely disrupted and changed. It's no longer the relationship with your AI is no longer, oh yes, it's automating the boring stuff, but I'm handling full on and executing on the important stuff. It's that you are no longer simply the executor, you're the orchestrator. It's a bit like in an orchestra, where you start off by playing the violin, and you play the violin really well. And playing the violin is not an easy task. It's not a boring task. It's a very important task, and you have to play it really well to be in an orchestra, right? But then you become a director, and the director still needs to know a lot about music, doesn't play the violin, but requires someone to play the violin really well. And has to direct different violin players to make sure that the symphony plays correctly. And that's how we envision the future of AI and human collaboration in the property management world, but in general in all business sectors. Humans are going to become orchestrators. So we don't think that the AI is coming for your job. We do think that the AI is going to drastically change the way you do that you work. But we think that as in the past, AI, all other automation, has always elevated human beings, changed the way they work, yes, but also improved the way they work. and made their lives more meaningful, we think this as well will empower human beings and making their jobs more meaningful, because it's clearly more fun and more empowering to be able to create systems that sing, that play, rather than having to do it yourself each time. So it's also harder, right? So coming up with policies, coming up with procedures, with workflows that actually work and feel natural is extremely hard, and the skills for that are very hard. It's harder to program and to build these systems rather than just simply executing on these systems. But the advantages of building them and creating the automation are huge, because you can then at that point automate all of it. So this is what we envision as change, and we're here to help you on this journey towards a level 3 automation. So this is all for me. I can open up to some questions. If someone wants, if we have time and if someone wants to ask any questions. In general, I'd like for everyone to feel free to reach out to me. My email is lodo@conduit.ai, and I'd love to help any of you ramp up the automation. Some of you I'm already in contact with, and I'm already helping in this journey. The more, the merrier. This is really like not just something for conduits. It's really a mission in general to bring AI into all businesses. What's the latest on the Notion integration? This should be coming out this week for sure. We had some integration difficulties because it's quite a big release, that of the sources, like having all these other sources. So we pushed it down the line for this week. But yes, so this week we're certainly going to ship sources. We're going to ship suggested knowledge. That's certainly today. And bulk tests. Can I just copy what you're doing as I start up example? Okay, that's a great point. So, and then Jason, I'll answer the first one. Sorry, I'm going the opposite way around. But okay, so Jason was asking, can I just copy like your procedures or like your configurations? That's a great point. We are creating, so like procedures, it's hard to copy because they are very specific to a company, but both for workflows and for procedures, by the end of not this week, next week, 100% we will have templates for everyone. Because you're right, this is a very strong agent. Like these agents are very strong. They're very capable in the sense that they could potentially do a lot of things, but they don't come very configured. So it's hard to set them up, and it's hard to understand like how to set them up. So our job now, after having built all these features, is to actually have configurations so that it's easy for each industry to implement the right agent and the right, configuration to get the maximum out of the product. So absolutely, this is going to come in maximum 2 weeks. And then I had another question, which was, okay, Jason, lodo@conduit.ai. I'm sending my email for everyone to see. Yes, so Rod is asking, what about connecting the operation team? Absolutely. So that's the triangulation we were being talking about. And we saw this earlier where here it was talking to the cleaners, right? So here it's talking to Loredana Pulizie, which Pulizie in English, in Italian means cleaner. And this is in our cleaner inbox. So if you see, Loredana is here. And she gets the messages from either our team or the AI. So yes, that's absolutely possible, and it's also advisable. The templates, yeah, for the workflows are also going to be included in that. Okay, yes. Okay, I think I have answered all questions. Does anyone else have any questions for me? Okay, if no one had, okay, wait. I'm going to, yep, absolutely. And anyone is also welcome just to email me, and we'll be able to schedule meetings. I think I'm gonna close. Okay, great. I'm gonna close it here. Hopefully this was helpful. This will be recorded and sent to all the participants of this webinar. If you have any doubts of like A, how the Agent Hub works, or B, how to get to higher levels of automation, again, you have my email. Please reach out. Okay. And yeah, I'm wishing everyone happy day or night, depending on your time zone. And yeah, I'm really excited to see what you build. So yeah, talk soon. Goodbye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.